Everything is in place for the monetary reform to be given to the Iraqi citizens. The Prime Minister and Alak are telling the citizens, we are 95% done with the monetary reform. We also know at the end of this year, December 31st, the auctions come to an end. It was the dollar that was keeping the Iraqi dinar stable. What are you going to do when you don't have the auction? When you cannot use the dollar anymore in your country? You gave the dollar because the dollar had a very good exchange rate. Now the dollar is taken away, you need a very good exchange rate. That is exactly what they are doing in my very strong opinion. They're saying we're at 95%. Where's the 5%? Emo, it's an awful lot of different things being requested by Donald Trump, by Iraq. A statement by the Ministry of Finance, received by Al-Iqtisad News, stated that Minister of Finance Taif Sami Mohammed received in her official office in Baghdad, the representative of the World Bank in Iraq, Jean-Christophe Carré, where they discussed ways to enhance cooperation between Iraq and the World Bank to support development projects and economic reforms. As investors, we all should realize that there is a deal with China and Iraq on providing oil at a fixed price. This deal was brokered by the US Treasury, and it included pre-selling some of the US oil credits to China at a fixed price. But these are credits, and these credits only materialize when we, as investors, then exchange our dinar. Yes, billions in oil credits. I talked about these oil credits when I described how this RV would be paid for. We actually did get some information over the weekend. We had heard that we would be going any day now, and that is still true. We know from our Iraqi sources that they had a new rate that came out Sunday, and that they now have, in the entire country of Iraq, all the new lower denominations, like the 5 dinar notes, like our notes 10 to 20s, 50s and 100s. All these notes that we call lower denominations are out throughout Iraq and being utilized. They've had to change their prices to reflect the lower denomination values and realize the rate inside Iraq is a very good revalued rate right now. I can tell you that we believe we are extremely close. The central bank signs a memorandum of cooperation with the European Union and Germany to enhance financial markets in Iraq. Quote, this agreement represents a new start for cooperation between the Iraqi banking sector and the German side, noting that it will contribute to the exchange of expertise and transfer of knowledge. Sadoni has been on a tear because he's been doing for over 2 years methodically nothing but achievements. Question: will there be taxes? 37% on short term, 20% on long term. Yeah, that's about right, somewhere in that ballpark. Ask a professional because I certainly don't know the exact tax code. Question: we had currency for a year or more and we decided to buy more, will we still have to pay 40%? Yes, every time you buy whatever you buy, your receipt verifies your time frame. That's why your receipt is so important. If you're ever audited, you need to prove your time frame. The central bank signs a memorandum of understanding with the European Union and Germany to strengthen the financial markets in Iraq. This is big and clearly shows Iraq is international. The Council of Ministers decides to suspend official work next Tuesday in celebration of Victory Day. They're still struggling to find the right formula to close that gap between the parallel market and the official exchange rate, which is going to be really hard to do if the very people that are supposed to be closing that gap are responsible for the parallel market in the first place. The Victory Coalition criticized, on Thursday, the major flaw in the management of the financial budget, which caused the deficit to increase continuously. The budget tables were set without any clear planning or study, given that the budget must take into account revenues and expenditures and that there must be a balance between them, coalition spokesman Salam al-Zubaydi told Al-Maluma agency. This was not achieved due to pressure from political blocs and the inclusion of many paragraphs in the budget tables, which caused a large financial deficit despite the previous existing deficit, he explained. He added that the political agreement paper on the basis of which the government was formed is considered one of the main factors that led to the inclusion of many paragraphs in the budget, noting that Iraq is a single-source country and the price of oil fluctuates between rising and falling, and also there was supposed to be a bridge to cover the deficit through a rise in the price of oil, and we do not know where the money provided by this margin goes. He added, "There is a major flaw in the management of the budget process, and even the final accounts that we were counting on after approving the budget for 3 years did not happen, and there was no spending for all budget schedules, in addition to the presence of a lot of money that is not being spent." He pointed out that oil resources have not arrived from the Kurdistan region due to the halt in oil exports through the Ceyhan port, while the government continues to send money to the region without sending a single dinar from its resources to Baghdad.